had today? Well, today is my day. I'm going to be planting my tomatoes today. It's in about mid-May, and we're going to be doing I have 8 tomato plants. And if you saw, I have a video last year where I did my tomatoes. I did them in a different part of my garden. This year I'm going to do them, I put them over here in the corner of my house, of my garden. And I have all my, you can't really see, but I'll have to move around one day and show you. I'm going to put 5 tomato plants back here of my indeterminate tomatoes, pardon me. I'm going to have 3 more plants up here. These 2 here will be indeterminate tomatoes. And I have 1 determinate tomato plant this year, which is right here in front of me. I'm going to be planting it. I'm going to be planting them all the same, but determinate potatoes don't get as tall as your indeterminate. Indeterminate will keep on growing taller and taller all through your summer season, and determinate potatoes kind of all come on at one time for one harvest, pretty much at the same time. And my Goldie girl wants to come visit and say hi to everybody in the video. So what I'm going to do here, I'm trying a couple of new things this year, and you know, I love to be able to experiment and try new things and see how they do, if something will work for me. And I learned through this last year, watching all these different gardeners and homesteaders. One likes to try putting a fish in a hole, and one likes to try putting an egg in a hole, and they all have the different nutrients that you can sometimes get in different fertilizers. And sometimes I like to use the natural way of doing things, and I like doing I like doing worm castings. I got ordered worm castings this year because I can't get them locally where I'm at. So I put worm casting in all my pots and my soil, and I'm also going to be putting a little bit of that in the hole itself as well. So what I'm going to show you, we're going to get my pot going here. I'd already put worm castings in it a couple of weeks ago, and I got my soil and pots all filled up for the season. Get my soil all loosened up. And put this to the side here. Get this hole really deep. You want to bury your tomato plants really deep, or some will lay them to the side. And I'll show you here in just a minute why we do that. Get pretty deep here. Alright, I'm going ahead, put a little bit of worm castings in the base here. Got that little hole. Stir it all in there. And I always like to put a little Epsom salt. I always have every single year I've ever planted my tomato plant. Just a little Epsom salt in with it. And I like putting just a little bit of my organic tomato vial mix for my tomato plants and pepper plants. Just a little bit in the hole. Not much, just a little bit, because I already got worm castings all through the soil, and I'll mix them up. Okay. Now, this tomato plant is a tomato fresh salsa hybrid tomato plant. And I'm going to take off the bottom leaves. I'll tell you why in just a moment. And this leave this top ones on, because what you see, if you look at a tomato plant, it's got all these little small hairs on the top of the stem. That's where you can grow. If you plant it deep enough, roots will grow out from that. If you plant it deep all the way up to here, you'll get a really strong root system for your tomato plant to hold up your tomatoes. So, now 2 other things I've heard about, 2 other gardeners and homesteaders I want to try this year is an egg in the hole. Check out Jess from Roots and Refuge. And fish in a hole. Today I'm using sardines. I don't actually have fresh fish caught, but I've heard on some gardeners they've used sardines and some have used fish. So There's different ones, so I can't recall call out the name on those. So on the egg in the hole, you just barely crack it. You don't bust it open, just barely crack it. That way it can work its way out and break down in the hole as the tomato plant grows. So I'm just going to barely crack it a little bit, put it in the hole. Then put several sardines, some fish in the hole. It's kind of like the same thing as using, I guess, maybe fish emulsion in your hole. Put some of that good old juice in there. Put about half a can. I'm kind of guessing about a half a can per pot. That's what I'm doing anyway. A little compost in my soil. I got compost, worm castings, and good potting soil mix in this pot. Break up and loosen up the roots there. I'll be getting it really deep. One other thing I'm going to do too, later on I got to go get me some mulch. I forgot to get some mulch, so I'm going to get some mulch. And I'm going to put mulch all on top of this to help the weed suppression down and keep the soil moist from drying out on top. But another thing that's good to do is when you need to try to water it, try not to water all the leaves going up, try to water just the base of it. And if you do like a little moat, like a little moat, go around about a few inches out from your plant. Alright? Make a little moat. You kind of water in that moat sometimes when you're watering it, and the soil will go down into your root system instead of just being splashing up right underneath the leaves. So right now that's what I'm doing, and I'm going to be doing that to all the rest of my tomato plants today. And I want to show you on all the rest of these tomato plants. These two right here are my soft tomato plants. This is San Marzano. I never have been able to say that properly, but it's this Italian tomato, and my super soft tomatoes. So what I'll do, each one of my tomato plants, on each one of them, I will take off the bottom stems and leave these top ones on every single one of them. Leave the very top, and we'll plant them all deep so I have a good strong root system in each and every single one of them. And I'll be putting the egg in the hole, and the fish, the sardines in each hole, the worm castings, and a little bit of the fertilizer and Epsom salts in each one of them. On every single one. I'll have 8 tomato plants this year, and we will see how they do. And I have cages that I have had for years that I stick on top of them for a little trellis to hold them up. And I have little trellis stands. I'll put little stakes in there, and I kind of tie up my tomato plants as they grow and get bigger through the season. And as you'll see through the season, I'll show you pictures and little videos of how they're doing. So that's how I do my tomatoes, y'all.